Alright there, I'm Andy DeLuca, writer who draws, and let's get into our final deep dive on Star Wars AHSOKA. Previously on Star Wars AHSOKA, Peppermint. This attempt at parking a Star Destroyer does look like a fail.
Fairy tale. Jedi. False Jedi. Star maps, Star whales.
And Death Stars and Star Destroyers and Dantooine and Tatooine and fucking Wookiees and Ewoks and all those freaks at the cantina, you fucking Grebo and Lurch and the one who looks like that he has really bad breath. Why won't anybody fucking believe us?
Come forward.
Do you agree to admit the Lord Beelzebub to your reading group and drink the milk of his slaughtered goats in honor of the terrific bastard?
Yes, Great Mother.
Do you consent, Morgan Elsbeth, to £4.99 per month taken from your bank account by standing order for Julio's videos of monkeys in human clothing?
I do.
Then, in the name of the Frogger, the Mekon, and the Holy Kermit. Jeez, talk about ugly. You know what always helps a bit of ugly? A bit of tea tree.
The blade of Taliesin.
No, tea tree. The Jedi, the Witch, and the Warlord by Just Leak Lucas. I'm not liking all these loving glances between Ezra and Sabine. You stay away from her, new boy. She'll break your turtles and leave your space cat to die. There's no reason why Ezra should be speeding through drawers of IKEA parts one moment and the next slouching on the wall like he's been on the Amsterdam Cornettos. It's left to Huang to locate the spool cap for his strimmer, while blethering on about how he's known every Jedi since
Kanan Jarrus.
Kanan, this Jarrus fella. The actions slow down for Huang to make clear the show's message.
The relationship between a master and an apprentice is as challenging as it is meaningful.
Which, if it were that important, you could have said it in an advert instead of 6 hours of this dribble. Then Huang drops a big character reveal on us. The Empire bonds Sabine's family, friends, streets and cities with all the bloodthirsty relish of Benjamin Netanyahu. And that AHSOKA felt if Sabine completed her training, she'd be a dark side risk. This is a whopper of a reveal, the sort of character key writers can thrive on. Of course, it's unusual to hold it back for 8 episodes, given the weightiness on Sabine and AHSOKA's motivations. It's one thing to ask an audience to persevere through a tough story in search of detail. To ask them to get to know a character before they know them is bold. But here it lands with an arrogance equivalent to finding out Luke and Leia are siblings, but also that they've engaged in group orgies filmed for ReadyJedi.com. It's okay, they had a buffet table at that orgy. Chicken goujon, salsa dips, garlic bread, all very respectable. I can't help be sceptical regarding Filoni's motives in using Huang, who has no facial expressions, to drop this paradigm-shifting revelation. Letting us in earlier on Sabine's trauma and AHSOKA's fears would have engineered empathy towards these unbearable characters. Unless you think the Empire has a right to defend itself.
Hello? Andree, any news?
I know because I...
Yeah, I know you do. I know. I think I know. I know how.
So we'll know it.
I know how. I know.
I know.
But I know.
I know
I know you do.
I know what...
that I know.
Are you gonna go like that all night?
So you know. I do. I know.
I know.
Well, why is she telling you then?
Anakin. He always stood by me.
Apart from the whole space Hitler phase, but that's barely a footnote, right?
I'll tell you a secret. Being a Jedi isn't about wielding a lightsaber.
Yeah,
Come no closer.
we've seen that. Top secret. Don't rely on a lightsaber.
He wouldn't.
Hardly using it at all. It's not like a focal point. Barely an afterthought. Lightsabers. Ha! The convoy comes under attack from 2 TIE fighters, and I like how these stock vehicles are given a real power of threat. That lasts all of a moment because neither the pilots or Sabine can drive. But then, there's a lot more to being a Jedi than competent driving. No lift from the turtles either. Well, the attack by the TIE fighters had left Terra pinned down. Thrawn, who was happy to let them go last episode, seems of the same temperament, yet orders a ground assault. He's read the next page of script where the 3 amigos track down the onion ring and get spicy dropping a dozen flash bombs. I quite like the stormtroopers in a castle aesthetic. Puts me in mind of the 1973-74 Doctor Who serial The Time Warrior, which placed the warrior Sontarans in a castle. Of course, we've to bear in mind the first law of stormtrooper physics. It dictates a stormtrooper armed to kill at close range cannot hit a target from any angle. In the second half of the season, AHSOKA has added posing to her repertoire, employed with the gusto of Madonna's Vogue on a loop for 3 hours. She's an adept at selling the brand. I imagine a pivot to a career in marketing for her. Ooh, body form for you. Always Coca-Soka. Go compare.
Stage freeze! Don't say stage freeze, just do it.
Yeah, whatever, fuck nuts. Dad? Okay, so 3 times. I could cut and paste that. Yes, Glenn very Aaron Kareem. Okay, I'm none the wiser.
Ezra.
Two stairwells. Gee, I hope they don't get separated. Oh, how about a nice cup of tea?
The Jedi are advancing swiftly.
Come on, get a move on. Come on, hurry.
We require a little more time.
Are you for real? You're going to miss the school bus.
I understand.
I don't.
Daphne.
I'm sure Daphne's very happy. We got Ezra closing the door with a lightsaber again.
What the hell do you think you're doing? Somebody stop him. He's gone totally mad. Think what it's doing to the mechanism.
Face off against Morgan. Just shoot her in the face. Sabine and Ezra get their asses kicked and kick ass in combat with chokeholds and telekinesis. AHSOKA faces off against Albino Mama and zombie stormtroopers. We're Jedis. We can fly. And we cut away just as Sabine is about to leap, only to find she stayed to save AHSOKA's ass. The tide turns and Morgan gets all cut up. For 8 episodes, we've heard all about this great Imperial starship, but it moves with all the pace of a snail in a marijuana patch. Thrawn destroys his own base and all his little soldiers. He takes time for a gentlemanly gloat and hyperjumps, presumably back to the Alpha Quadrant. Although when the onion ring can go anywhere, I'm not really sure why he'd want to be somewhere he knows trouble is waiting. Back on Turtle Firma, AHSOKA teaches Sabine how to stare and pose. Shin, who had no role in the finale, does the same. And Balin, who has to piss higher than everyone else, has enlisted a whole mountain range to stare and pose for him. Game, set, and match, bitches. Having hitched a ride home on Thrawn's hypership, Ezra hasn't tried to blow it up. No, he's needlessly antagonized Syndulla by showing up in a stormtrooper's garb. Kind of wondering, even though I know when this episode will end, it keeps on going, and frankly, my bed is waiting, and staring at me.
Ezra's where he needs to be.
Is that from the Jeremy Osborne School of Philosophy?
Nothing.
Yep. Oh, fuck. Not you as well. Ghost of Christmas shit. And that's the end of Ahsoka Series 1. To recap, the bad guys win, and the good guys are happy about it. Well, that was unexpected. Yes, Ahsoka is stranded millions of light years from everybody she's ever known, mirroring Sabine's being left desolate when her species was wiped out. Ahsoka seems to be content, taking to it like a fuck to water. I set out to review this series from the enthusiasm for it of a dear long-time friend and patron. Did I mention I'm on Patreon? I think maybe I didn't mention that. Another $100 for 3 months, and I can set yearly memberships from £12. Anyhow, my opinion on Ahsoka appears to be the consensus that it's particularly bad at storytelling. The act of viewing is also the act of reviewing, and a purpose outside of that narcissistic wank is to steer people to things they should like and away from things they won't. YouTube and the blogosphere has many reviews of TV shows filled with toxic language. This show or that is crummy and the looting will begin, and because of showrunner X, cities will burn. I'm looking at you, Doctor Who community. Yes, those who confuse being a critic with snark. Rather than beat the low-hanging meat, I elected to have fun with this series, and it was the right call. I got views, thumbs, and some flattering feedback in my DMs. Use the comments box, people. Ahsoka may be crap, but my reviews transformed the source into a fun ride, and I haven't lost energy lowering myself to its narrative, as some did. I hate it! What's that you say? Yes, Andrew, but how do you really feel? The characters are all intolerable. The actors' choices are bland, though Huang, David Tennant, and Balin, Ray Stevenson, try to rein it in, and in third place, Lars Mikkelsen as Thrawn gives it a go. The storytelling is incredibly groin-achingly slow. It seems to take the wrong lessons from simmering narratives like Mad Men and Better Call Saul. In fact, I've only seen one TV series that moves slower than Ahsoka, and that's Twin Peaks: The Return, the gap in quality between the two being this much. The stakes are low until they pretend they're massive, but then it turns out they're low, and they've been low all along. Nothing explored has any consequences. I suspect, or rather hope, the series relies on a foundation of stories built up in Rebels and The Mandalorian and the upcoming Star Wars TV universe film. We don't talk about the holiday special. All in all, it's been as filling as a YouTube 30-minute recap video, breakdown masquerading as review, punctuated by occasional, "Oh, I don't like this very much." I'm looking at you, Doctor Who community. Oh, and I suppose you could do better. Yes, prove it. Occupied is a densely woven tale of camping for political change. It combines sitcom surrealism with realist documentary and rounded, relatable characters whose lives change around the campfire. Okay, well, but I mean, how would you write Ahsoka? That's not how this works. Sorry. You pay me, I write it. There's no point in me rewriting Ahsoka. It won't be used, and it's work for free. For exposure, something like £1.99 on Kindle and under a tenner in print. If I buy it, will you rewrite Ahsoka? Ask me on Patreon. What can I have for free? I can recommend some quality online things. Arsalan Haider Ali inspired the Ahsoka challenge. Check out his photography art around the London verse on Instagram.com/TheLightbinder. Look around farsightlabs.org.uk for an idea how makerspaces can enhance your community through resources and participation. Directors Art Kay and Andree Bolster will happily take your questions. And you can read a sample of the Irish crime comedy Death to Everyone on Amazon. John Robbins also has a graphic novel, A Hand of Fingers, which you'll receive as a free PDF when you join my Patreon. Okay, I'm doing all those things. I can see that. What about you? Will you be okay without AHSOKA? How will you manage? I need word of mouth to get my channel monetized. Every Sunday I review an episode of Always Sunny in 200 seconds. I'll be doing a deep dive on Stephen Moffat's Press Gang. And there's more Doctor Who videos to come. If you liked AHSOKA, you'll love those. I'd like to give a shout out to all my patrons who have made the AHSOKA series happen. Sonia, Andree, Richard Huang, Ljerka, Jemric, Amanda Rodriguez, Claire Dickson, Donal, Fallon, Dave Cromie and Nerdgeist, Andrew Gallagher, Ian Lawther, Alan Rowell and benchilada Stone, and Arsalan, Andrew, Art and John. And Sean McAleer, Sean Duffield and Susie Cater for helping out in production, as well as others who have helped behind the scenes: Susanna Lucas, Kieran Flanagan, Jess Higgins, Tristan Sargent and PJ Hart. Andrew, Doc, whew. Please like, comment and subscribe and have fun. That's all, folks.